Hey y'all, I hope you guys are doing well today. So today I wanted to talk about my newest handbag purchase, which is this beautiful Coach Quilted Tabby in the 20 size. This bag has literally been everywhere in social media, so I'm not going to be saying too much that is new, but I still wanted to share because look at this amazing print on here. I have said this time and time again, but I feel like Coach does some of the best floral prints out there. They really do have my favorite, and I just really gravitate towards Coach's floral prints. So we're going to talk about this bag real quick. Now, I had originally did this video already, but one, I didn't do a blog post first, so I was kind of rambling on and I didn't like that. But two, towards the end of that first video, I also noticed that there were some issues with this bag. So this bag had a pop stitch right there, as well as a pop stitch in the interior right over here. And then there is some small, but it's there, paint chipping. And this is a brand new bag. Generally, you know, if there's some defects, I'm okay with it. But as I've learned with my Pochette Matisse, there's certain defects that I just can't get past, and that would be one of them for me. And so I didn't want to necessarily take it back because I knew if I could exchange it for another bag, they may just mark this one out as damaged, and then it's just adding to landfill waste, or, you know, they don't have a better option for me in stock, if that makes sense. And so I contacted Coach. I bought this from an authorized seller, by the way, not directly from Coach, but I contacted Coach. And, you know, we talked and they told me that I could bring the bag in and they'll do everything they can to repair this particular bag for me and make it, you know, right as rain. And so I loved that because it's really getting into the core of their circular fashion mission, which is to reduce, reuse, recycle. And I think that's perfect. It's sustainable fashion. And that is what I want out of my wardrobe, to be as sustainable as it can be. So I personally really appreciate that from Coach, and I will keep you guys in the loop with what happens with this bag. I am getting ready to go on a trip, but there's a Coach in the city that I'm going to, so I'm just going to take it directly there and see what they tell me. The other reason why I wanted to redo this video is because I wanted to be a bit more concise. And so in this video, we are going to be talking about the structure of the quilted coaches, because they're quilted coach tabbies, because they are different than the Coach tabbies in general. And I also wanted to compare it to a bag that I'm a bit more familiar with, which is going to be the Chanel minis. And then lastly, I wanted to show you guys kind of what fits in here so you have an idea, because this is a very small bag and I don't think people realize how tiny this bag actually is, but I think it carries a punch. Let's talk about the structure of the quilted tabbies. So they feature 4 grommets at the top that has this chain that weaves through, that has leather intertwined on the chain, much like the classic Chanel bags. You also have this closure here on the front. Some people said they've had issues with their closures. I never had issues with my closure. But I think that's more because I kind of grab it like this. I know some people are worried about the crinkling right over here, but that's kind of just natural. That's what's going to happen. It's not going to damage your bag or anything like that. So inside you have this little magnetic flap here, very similar again to a classic Chanel, with an interior pocket right there. This is a very small pocket and it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the bag here, just so you know. It goes close, but not all the way down to the bottom of the bag there. Then have your main compartment, which is divided into 2 equal sections right here. On the 26 and on the 33, this middle part right here will be open with a zipper, so you can, you know, use that compartment. On the 20, there is no compartment. I know they have a wristlet version as well, and there is no compartment on the wristlet version as well. Then you have your story tab in the back right there. And then in the back of the quilted tabby, you also have another little pocket right here. Of course, like all Coach bags, it comes with a little D-ring right there, which holds the Coach tag right there, which I just think is a really cute little addition. This bag is constructed out of Napa leather. That doesn't really tell us too much. Napa leather in general is leather made from a hide of a young animal, so it's gonna be nice and supple and very plushy, but it can be made of lamb, it can be made of goat, it can be made of cow. We don't exactly know, and we do know those leathers do act differently. So I wish I knew what type of Napa leather that this was made out of, but it feels really, really good, really nice, really soft. Definitely a really nice leather used for this bag. And like the majority of Coach bags, this bag is designed in New York, but made in Vietnam. So for me, the overall construction of this bag is very nice. As I mentioned in the beginning, there is some pop stitches. There's 2 pop stitches and then some paint wearing in the corner, which shouldn't happen. However, outside of those issues, the bag is pretty well constructed, and for the most part, I'm hearing people's bags are well constructed. My stitches line up all over the bag, and as you can see, it's very hard to differentiate where this pocket is because these flowers and stitches line up so well, and it's the same in the front. When I close this, everything just lines up so well. When I close this, everything just lines up so well and perfectly. It's absolutely beautifully constructed. Now, one thing you will notice with the quilted tabbies is there's going to be kind of a lot of wrinkling. This is happening due to the stitching and the pulling that's happening with the construction of the bag. This is not necessarily an issue, but I know some people don't like that. I know it's the same with the Chanel minis. Depending on the type of leather it is, there may be some natural crinkling and wrinkling that people don't like. That's just something you should be aware of. It happens naturally. For me, it doesn't bother me, but this could be something that bothers some people. And so you may want to stay away from certain colors that are going to show it more, like lighter colors, metallics, things that are going to show the wrinkles off a bit more. You might want to stay away from those. Real quick, I wanted to compare the quilted tabby to the original tabby design. This is the pillow tabby, but the pillow tabby is very close to the original tabby design, structure-wise anyway. So with the original tabby, you have your little strap right here, as well as a cross-body strap that comes with it. You do not get that with the quilted tabby. You just get the option to wear it shoulder with the double chain, or let the chain drop and wear it crossbody. You still have the same kind of hardware component on the quilted tabby as you do with the regular tabby. In the regular tabby, you do have your center compartment divided into 2. On the bigger sides, again, you will have a zipper compartment. On the smaller ones, you don't. You have a little pocket back here with the quilted tabbies, and on the bigger ones, not quilted tabbies, with the regular tabbies, you have this little pocket back here, and I believe on the bigger sides, you also have a front pocket. On the smaller size, you do not have that front pocket. You also do not have a back pocket. Because there's no grommets on the top of this bag, there was no need to put an extra D-ring because your hang tag just kind of hangs off the side there. Very similar looking bags, like structure-wise, but also very, very different. I would honestly argue that the quilted tabby is very different from the original tabby, enough to not be the same category. Okay, next I wanted to show you some bags that I think that the quilted tabby is very similar to. I think the quilted tabby in 20 is very similar to the Chanel rectangular mini. You can see that it's very similar in size. The rectangular mini is going to be just a scotch taller, and then I believe just a scotch longer as well. But other than that, these are very similar bags. They both have the grommets, although the Coach tabby has 4 grommets. The rectangular mini will only have 2 grommets. So it's a little bit easier to control the size of, like, you know, whether you're gonna wear a crossbody or the chain link. That's what I mean with this one versus versus what it is with the rectangular mini. They also both have back pockets, which I think function the same. They look different, but I feel like these back pockets function the same. The difference is going to be with the rectangular mini, the inside is going to be pretty much just one cavity. You do have a zipper compartment back here and a little slip pocket back there, which I don't really utilize. I don't have my, what's it called? Bag organizer, there we go. I don't have my bag organizer in here at the moment, but you know, there's really no organization to this bag. Versus this bag, there is, I feel like, a fair amount of organization, which kind of makes it a little bit easier to get your things, in my opinion. The next bag I think that this one is really close to is actually the 224 or the Chanel reissue bag. Now, the 224 is slightly different than the reissue mini, as in the 224 is going to have the double flap, which I think is almost a dead-on comparison for this bag. Again, you have the back pockets, which I believe kind of function exactly the same. And then the Chanel bags, of course, have the Mademoiselle turn lock. And again, this is just going to be an empty cavern. On the 224 version, you will have the double flap, which is going to be very similar to this little flap that they have right here. Since we're pulling out Chanel bags, I figured I might as well show you what a classic flap looks like compared to the quilted tabby. So this is a small classic flap. And so when you open it up, you have that flap there, which I find to be very similar in design to the 20. Of course, the small classic flap is much bigger than the quilted tabby, but I think you'd be able to fit similar amount of things in there, since this flap does take up a whole bunch of space. As far as quality goes, from the Coach quilted tabbies to the Chanel classic flaps and classic mini flaps, I would feel like the quality is very similar. This vintage one feels just about as soft as the Coach quilted tabbies, and I think the vintage bags are better made, in my opinion. This bag right here, this one has always been a little bit more on the rough side. I've been using her a lot more lately, so she is a bit more supple than what she generally is, which I appreciate, but I do feel like Coach has the better, more consistent leather quality than Chanel does. That's just my opinion. I have 14 now Coach bags, not Coach bags, Chanel bags. And I don't know, I like the leather better with Coach, you know, that's just me. But what I will say is I think Chanel has the better hardware. The hardware between these two, the Coach one feels a lot more cheap and it doesn't move as easily. So it's not bad, but it's not moving as easily as it does with my Chanel bags. I feel like there is more like noise with my Chanel bags as well. That's because the grommets are significantly thinner on the Chanel bags than they are with the Coach bag. It's a lot thicker material, but it doesn't feel like more quality material as far as the hardware goes. But it still looks nice and you're dealing with a fraction of the price point. So I think what Coach put into their leather, they kind of took away from their hardware. And if I had to choose one or the other, I'm choosing the leather every single time. So I think they made the right call, you know, as far as materials go. But still, I think Chanel has the better hardware, but Coach has the better leather. So while we're here, I want to show you what I would realistically carry in this bag. This is a very tiny bag. As you see, she fits in the palm of my hand. However, I am a mini bag lover. My back and shoulders hurt just so easily. And so for me, the smaller, the better. So I'm going to start off with my Louis Vuitton key pochette. And I just kind of tuck that in the front. Actually, before I tuck that in the front, what I'm going to do is I carry a lot of stuff in my key pochette. It's kind of like a mini first aid kit. So I have flossers and I have some hand sanitizer. Pop some more hand sanitizer in there because you can never have enough. Band-aids and things like that. So I take my key fob out because I just find it fits in the front pocket a lot easier that way. So I put my key pochette in there like this, and then take the key fob and put it in gently like that. Towards the top, I'm gonna take a lip pencil. This one is just from NYX. It's in the shade, I don't know why they have the shades on here. Espresso. I feel like it's a really good color for my lips. Then I have a little Baby Dior lip maximizers. I love getting these when I make orders from Dior. You can pick out like little samples and whatnot. I always pick out a lip maximizer. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and tuck it on the other side right here. And so I go ahead and I close that, and that closes up pretty well. I still have these two pockets over here. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my card holder and I'm gonna slip it in the back pocket back there. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hand cream. This one is from Chanel. It's the Chance Fragrance Hand Cream. I have a blog post on that. I'm gonna stick that back there and kind of make it like even and whatnot. Then I'm going to take my Chanel card case and I'm going to put this back here. This was from the Iridescent collection, the 19S, and I do have a blog post about how all my pieces from that collection are holding up. Next, I'm going to take my Rosalie wallet. I just got the Rosalie wallet in the matcha color. Green and pink are my favorite colors. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put it in the front, right up there. So now we see I kind of have things kind of staggered. Then I'm going to take my Chanel mirror. This one is in the green color. I'm going to pop it back there. I'm going to take my headphones. I'm going to pop it in the front, right up there. I have some Advil pills. This also has Tylenol in it and just some other medications for me that I just kind of keep in there. It's a lot easier for me. Slid that right up there. Oh, one of my lights went out, you guys, but we're still rocking with one more. Last, I have this little sample from Scentbird. I have a Scentbird account. I'm thinking about closing it. They do have some wonderful scents. And so if you guys want to try them, let me know. I might write a blog post about it, but this is from the Parfum de Marly, the Elena scent, which I've been loving. And then I have my Chanel emery board. So I'm just putting my emery board in the back like that, taking my fragrance scent, putting it there, and the bag closes very easily. You see nothing's popping out. It's sitting really, really well. So that's it for this video, you guys. I might come back later and kind of do a mod shot video and an update video. I definitely will do an update for when I get Coach to check out this bag and let you know the options that they gave me. And then I'll also probably have a written blog for you guys as well, because you guys know how much I love to write. I prefer writing honestly and reading honestly, but yeah, I am really loving this bag thus far. I am bummed that there are some issues with this particular bag, but I'm very happy that Coach feels confident that they can repair the bag and that they will repair this particular bag instead of just trying to exchange it. I think that's much more better for the environment. It makes me feel a lot better too. And it's a level of customer service that a lot of companies, especially luxury companies, don't offer nowadays. And so hearing that they are willing to stand behind their product and just make something wrong right as rain, I think it's perfect. Anyway, you guys, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, noon or night. I'm getting ready to go on a business trip to Nashville, so I'm gonna have fun with that. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Bye.